So something super important to remember when you're looking to like call in big dreams and attain big goals, manifest things, change your life in general. If your nervous system is not regulated in alignment and like to where you're able to even accept those things and not repel them and not immediately sabotage them and not immediately like spend all the money you get and not call in new bills and like just fuck it up. If you want to actually be able to like jump up and not fuck it up as soon as you get up there and figure out, because like I always say, the how to get there is easy, but if you're not the person that can handle it, you're not going to be able to keep it. If you win the lottery and your nervous system can't handle that amount of money because you literally have no idea what to do when you have even $100,000 in the bank because you're not used to having that kind of spend money, all you're going to do is blow your money, accumulate new bills, accumulate new debt. Somehow somebody will accidentally like sue you. That money is going to leave your hands because you are not primed to be able to handle that responsibility. That business is not going to succeed the way you want it to, or you're not going to be able to lead your clients because you don't have a nervous system that can handle this bigger pressure that comes. Because if you want to call in big great things, well, that takes a lot more pressure. That's going to take a lot more novel knowledge, and it's going to take a lot more nervous system regulation on your end in order to handle that, or you're going to immediately repel it. So working on yourself is the most important thing to do no matter what your goal is, because in order for you to even obtain that goal, like obtaining the goal isn't the hard part, it's keeping the goal once you've obtained it, because you have to make sure that you can actually mentally handle it. Your nervous system has to do everything to not repel it. You want a huge house, but you don't even feel comfortable in somebody else's mansion because you're just not used to being in a mansion. Well, what makes you think you can just up and move in one? Like, that's just not how that timeline jump works. So start working on regulating your nervous system. So here's a super simple example that I actually still do to keep calling it abundant and tapping into like my next level abundant feeling. One, I moved all the way to the ocean because it gives me that feeling, but I often will go work in a little cafe overlooking the ocean, or I'll go film content down by the beach, or I'll just put myself in situations that make me feel abundant, which to me is usually the ocean, or it's like a rich neighborhood. I actually used to live in a really small house in a really rich little beach town neighborhood, and I would just walk it all the time. I would pretend that I was I was part of the neighborhood, but I would pretend that I was one of the bigger houses in the neighborhood, and I, wave at the neighbors, and I was just on my rich old little morning stroll, just like everybody else. I was getting used to living that lifestyle. I was getting comfortable in neighborhoods that were like out of my reach. I literally lived next to multi-million-dollar houses, and then I'm like the little house in the middle. And it was honestly awesome. And I got used to talking to people who made a higher net worth, and they have different conversations, and it's a different vibe. And then you go to their house for holidays and stuff, and you kind of get the inside feel of the vibe is inside a house that you're not used to operating in. It's going to be different. It's weird to go from operating in smaller close quarters to being comfortable in big, wide open, modern, brand new, whatever it is that you're aiming for. You have to learn to get yourself just comfortable to where your nervous system is regulated in these spaces that are typically going to feel out of reach. And when that feels normal to you, and you then call that into your life, you can hold it because your nervous system is prepped and ready to go and not confused and not going to push it away because this feels normal. You've already prepped it.